Good day, everyone. I came in this evening to discuss this very topic that had been, you know, understood in various ways, and it's good we have the true understanding through scriptures, so that because a misunderstanding is going to mean so much. It's going to mean so much. It is a concept of grace. Now, a lot of definitions have come on grace. People have understood grace as being an excuse for sin because the grace of God has covered. So whatever you do doesn't matter anymore. That's what some who have as the definition of grace. Some others believe that when grace covers for you, He atones for you. Grace gives you the opportunity to be atoned for and be freed from sin. And whatever else you do does not matter. That grace still covers. I've also met another definition, and that was the definition of how to get saved by another balance. They had said that he said, "He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved." So he said, "I believe on Jesus and I've got baptized, and therefore I'm saved." So for him, grace has brought that definition as an offer to humanity. And what you need to do is to believe and get baptized, and you are saved. That's correct. I don't have a problem with that, but that needs to be explained. Because why we need explanation of all of this concept is because a misunderstanding of them will determine the way we live our lives. Now, those that believe that grace has covered for whatever we do are frivolous with their Christian lives. The reason is they don't make any effort in trying to please God. They believe that making effort is bringing in self-righteousness. That when you try your best to please God, for example, you know that telling lies, the Bible says all liars shall find themselves in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone. And they get to a situation where they need to tell a lie to pull through a situation. The other person that is conscious to live a righteous life decides that, no, I'm going to tell the truth just to obey scriptures. And the other person tells a lie and doesn't feel guilty. The reason is that grace has covered for him, so he can tell lies, deceive people, and move on and still be a child of God. It doesn't affect his status as a child of God. So we are looking at all of these things and trying to be sure of what definitions we give to grace, so we don't lose out at the pearly gates. One of my pastors will say pearly gates. The issues around pleasing God and going to heaven are all hinged in grace, and a proper understanding of it will be very important. Now, one of the verses in Titus said, "The grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men." Now, this line also has been understood. Let me not use the word misunderstand, but has been understood by some parlance that since the grace has appeared to all men, everybody will be eventually saved. So, but that's not where I'm going to, because where I'm going to is that the Bible said the grace of God that bringeth salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. That's Titus chapter 2, verse 9, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I want us to understand grace in scriptural definitions, because a misunderstanding of what grace is will make us to lose out in the true plan of God for humanity. When men fell, God, by mercy, looked for an opportunity to restore man to the pre-fall state. We became dead in sin. And he was looking for an opportunity where we can now arise to righteousness. He was looking for an energy that can make man, because man became fleshly at the fall of man. The spirit man in us died. God said the day you eat the fruit, you shall surely die. Two understanding to that. The first understanding is that Adam and Eve surely died because they were not supposed to die. They were supposed to live forever. But somehow, because they have now eaten the fruit, they died. Another understanding is that their spirit man actually died because the God consciousness in man died. And that is why they said the second Adam became a quickening spirit so that to resurrect that thing that died when they ate that fruit in disobedience. So why would a spirit man be resurrected? Why does it need to? Because in the flesh in itself is an embodiment of the desires that will not please God. So he needs an instruction from within to redirect the flesh direction. So if somebody becomes born again and the spirit man becomes resurrected, the desires of the flesh are not going to be, the direction of the flesh is not going to be the direction of that person. The person becomes conscious enough to now tell his flesh desires no. And that is grace. That's the first definition of grace. The capacity to say no to your desires, to your flesh. The ability to reject the things you would enjoy to do that will not please God. You say no to them. Somebody smokes and he enjoys it. He's addicted. He drinks, get drunk. He's addicted. He can't stop it. But somehow he accesses grace. And then he sees the smoke and he says, oh, I used to do this before. That is grace. The capacity, the energy that empowers you against the things you would originally enjoy. Something has happened to you. Your spirit man has come alive and has now told the flesh no. Now, but if we understand grace in the other way, that grace is the provisions of God's righteousness upon man. That is true. Now, the righteousness of men are filthy rags. True. Very true. The righteousness that God counts is the imputed righteousness of God upon man. Very true. Now, if Christ imputes his righteousness upon you, you become a content of Christ's righteousness. That is, you now contain the lifestyle of Christ. You now harbor the forgiveness capacity of Christ, the rectitude of Christ, the forward thinking of Christ. You harbor it because he doesn't leave you from afar. He inserts it in you. So you are supposed to carry now his DNA. So if you are going to be manifesting behaviors that are not Christ-like, then you truly have not got it. What do you think? Because if you have it, then your manifestations, even the Bible had said that it is what you have inside that showcases in the outside. So if truly you have got the righteousness of Christ imputed upon you, not like what you went to struggle to collect or struggle to practice to get. No. If it comes on you, it teaches you. Before now, no matter what teaching you get, you can't afford to do the right. You can't say no to the desires of your flesh because you do not have the ability. But when the grace comes upon you, it teaches you to deny ungodliness and worldly lust and helps you to live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present evil world. That is grace. So when somebody now says, I have received grace, and whatever I do does not matter, the grace of God has covered for me, don't you think it's a lie? You don't have it. If you do have it, the life of Christ will reflect. You cannot, if sin still reflects through you, sin is still a content. The devil is, you still lie, you still tell lies. The Bible says the devil is a liar and is the father of it. There is still a content of the devil in your life. Yes. because you have not domesticated what is righteous. And the unfortunate thing is that you accept that teaching so you can enjoy sin. That's it. Sorry to say, but that's it. You actually accepted it because there is this thing you are doing that is wrong, and you are enjoying doing it. And you're actually looking for something to help you to suit your because I have always been saying that nobody truly hates God. The reason why men are separated from God is the love of sin and the enjoyment thereof. Because somehow sin is interesting, in quote. What I mean sin is interesting, because somebody wrote on one of the posts I made and said, is sin really interesting? Yes, sin is interesting. Yes. When you go after a very beautiful, outlandish lady that suits your emotional desires, you will enjoy it. Who told you you will not enjoy it? The only thing that makes you say, no, this is not my direction, is when there is a content of the righteousness of Christ that teaches you to deny that ungodliness and that worldly lust. So, the understanding today is this. I'm going to allow you to make your comments, drop it in the comment box, and it's going to form an engagement for the next topic. I'd like you to debate it out with me. If you think what I'm saying is not right, I'd like you to argue it out scripturally. And let's look at it together. I don't want you to feel like I'm antagonizing your perspective, but I want us to amplify what the universal truth is. Let's see if we can get at it. Because we are supposed to be brethren walking in the directions of the heart of Christ. If Jesus comes to die for us to be saved from sin, and after we say we have received him, we are yet sinners, he has died in vain. He has died in vain. I was telling somebody say, nobody can be righteous, nobody can be righteous. I said, see, if before Jesus Christ died, nobody can be righteous, and after he died, nobody can be righteous, he died in vain. Yes, he died in vain. Yes, think about it. What is the purpose of his death? Why then should he die? If we cannot be resurrected to the consciousness of all of the scriptural lines given to us as guidelines to manifest in the life of Christ. Why do you read your Bible every day? It's not to understand the mind of God, to understand the lifestyle of God, and to attain to it by the grace that has been taught you. If we can't achieve it, then Jesus shouldn't have bothered to die. Because we are all still in sin before he died. We are still in sin before after he died. Then what is the purpose of the death? He shouldn't have died. Why should he bother to die? So please, let's get it straight. If there are some places you have argument, put it in the comment box. Let's discuss it. I like us to not fight, but I want us to understand ourselves. Any place you think you argue with what I've just said, put it in the comment box. Let's talk about it. My desire is that we attain to a universal truth. My desire is that we please God from our heart and let God return back to the earth and meet true Christians upon the earth that have their names written in the book of life, and not those that look for justification for their sins in the disguise of grace. God bless you.